Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. I'm Topher, and with me as always is Crazy Chris.
The chickens are coming.
They're coming to take me away. They're coming to take me away.
Starting off with a bang.
So today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to... Not really. I could give... I actually, at this point, I could give two shits.
I mean, WotC, we're talking about WotC and WotC decisions. So,
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, the amount of times that they have screwed something up, it's not that I don't care. I'm just so jaded. I don't have the energy to put into care.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like we're talking about it. We're talking about it. So we care a little.
Like at this point, I would just have them sell the property, not to Tencent.
I'll buy it for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, I'm just over the promises. I'm over the guarantees. I'm over we care about the problem. I'm over it. The empty platitudes. It's obnoxious.
If you're wondering what we're talking about and you haven't heard, Dragonlance live action project that Joe Manganiello was pushing and spearheading and doing all the stuff that he actually kind of dropped the hint himself. He was like, oh, yeah, on one of his things, he's like, oh, well, I've been working on this project with Hasbro for a long time.
Yeah.
Trying to bring this out, yada, yada, yada. Well, it's no longer moving forward.
Surprise. You know what it is? Because they released that abomination of Honor Among Thieves. It was
I actually liked Honor Among Thieves.
I didn't dislike it. It just didn't feel D&D to me.
It felt D&D. It felt like every dumb campaign that I've ever...
Hold on. All right, let's throw it out there that way. But it was tropey. And I think that's what irritated me. It was a love letter to fans, but it wasn't. It was... I mean, it was self-aggrandizing. You had the very first, like the throwback to the cartoon. There were some nods.
You know, like there was Displacer Beast actually being a Displacer Beast.
Nah. It just didn't. It did not do it for me in my nerddom. It just didn't really do it for me. I thought that it could have been like, and it wasn't so much like the joke. The jokes were fine. They were well timed, but it was a joke. Like, and that's how I felt. I felt like they were portraying it like it was just a joke. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying take it too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's a game. So like, don't misunderstand me. At the end of the day, it's a game. We're supposed to have fun. And it was a fun-ish movie. It just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It struck a nerve with me.
So you're making the same argument that I was making about the Fall Guy.
A little bit, yeah.
And then you were telling me, oh no, it always supposed to be funny. You look back, it's funny. And I'm telling you the same thing. You look back, playing games, it's fun. You can tell where the dice rolls were failed.
No, I get it. It's like I said, it felt fan service. Like it checked the box for fan service. Cool. It checked the box for adventure. Ish to me, But I don't know. I felt that it just felt like something was missing, and it didn't do well. I mean, and I'm not the only fan that felt that way, to be honest.
Well, I mean, there's also a lot of fans that. No.
That's true. A lot of I'm not trying to be the fan that dumps on everything, because I don't want to be that guy. But at the same time, I'm like, it didn't do it for me.
I had fun with it. For me, it was better than what we've had before.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, with technology, and they got a better cast too.
Right.
Like, I'll give it that. Like, the cast was pretty on point. I thought.
The weird, ball-headed lich guy. Whatever.
What was the campy movie that they had where they were LARPing in the woods? You remember that? It was like at a Renaissance festival. They had Peter Dinklage.
Knights of Badassdom.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Knights of Badassdom. I liked that one. That wasn't a D&D movie, I know, but it was so good.
But it was a LARP movie.
It was so good, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have made it. If you're going to make it campy.
Right.
It was, I don't know. It felt like, it felt like it was trying to suspend your disbelief a little too much.
It literally, as a dungeon master, all of the dumb decisions that got made are dumb decisions that I could totally see my players making.
I'm a DM as well. I have entire freaking books of campaigns.
What are we going to do? Well, screw it. Let's dive into the thing and then pull ourselves out.
One of my favorite stories ever is I literally put what I thought was an impossible puzzle before my players on purpose to get them to revisit this location later, to give them the coolness, hey, there's some cool stuff in here. When you guys come back at a higher level, you'll be able to unlock this puzzle. You'll be able to get past all these traps. My players could not miss. They could not. I'm not joking. They rolled it in front of me. I saw the whole thing. I mean, there's the 19s and 20s and 19s and 20s. I'm like, how? Like, I tried to make it out of reach, but they had like bonuses and all this other cool stuff that they had. And not because I gave it to them, just because it's the way the game was built.
Right.
And so they're just unlocking puzzles. And I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, they're level 5 and they pop out a lich. I'm trying, there's warnings all over the place. And one of the big warnings was all ye who enter here face death. Right. Like, this is the big, all ye who enter here face death. It's written in Sylvan. One of my players speaks Sylvan. Right. But he's a dick. He was a dick. And he just looks at the freaking, not the barbarian, but the cleric who worships Caden Kane, and looks at him and said, he asks him, he says, what does that say? And the dick player goes, oh, it says there's free ale inside. And so he's like, oh, cool. And just opens the door. Just goes straight, just opens the door. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. And I'm like, okay, cool. There's an encounter that's trying to stop them. Dude, they couldn't miss. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I don't want to say anything, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't get you guys out of this room. I'm trying. I'm making up encounters in that room to get them to stop. Because I'm like, this can't happen. Like, they're going to die.
Like, you're going too far. You're going too far.
And in my brain, I'm like, I'm about to TPK this because they're so good. Like, they're too good for their own good. They're about to TPK.
Well, no, I literally had to, the campaign that I'm running right now for our people, I had to shove them into an alternate, plane.
Right.
Because they were getting too close, and the guy, turns into the lich and whatnot, and they level 5 again, charged right at him. I'm like, oh, we're gonna kick him. I'm like, portal gone.
Right.
Suck everybody in, make a constitution save. One dude makes it, dexterity save, holds on, and he's literally the only one there, and he's a tabaxi, so he's got his claws cinched into the thing. And so I finally look at him and go, die. And he failed. He had under 100 hit points, so he automatically died, lost his grip, fell and tumbled and got blown into the portal, and they resurrected, or they brought him back on the other side of the portal.
So this is more fun than what Wizards is doing.
Now they're going through, jumping through planes to come back to face the Lich. 15 levels later.
Yeah. So the Lich that they released, my players released this Lich. They eventually got to it and they released the Lich. Through all manner of bumbling, fumbling, and stumbling, they managed to get the Lich free. I put traps on traps on traps, and then on top of that, puzzles that you're not supposed to be able to figure this stuff out. And they just, one of them by accident figured it out. He picked up, it was a mirror that's in a box, a treasure box. The box is sealed. There's no actual lid. It's just a sealed box. They managed to get the box open because it's a magic incantation. And one of my players just happened to speak the language. And I was like, oh my God, I'm picking these obscure languages and you buttholes are picking these obscure languages. But they managed to get the box open, and inside is a mirror. And it's a silver polished mirror. But on the back side, on the front side of it, it is the standard glass. Well, the Lich is trapped inside the mirror, right? It's a pocket dimension, but he's trapped. The most powerful people in the kingdom could not defeat the Lich. So they trapped him inside of this freaking mirror because they were like, we're going to trap him in the mirror, put him in this darkest dungeon. We're going to put all these seals up. We're going to make sure that nobody has any chance ever to get in here. Ever. He will never be discovered again. Of course, my players bumble their way through. So the player, it's in this thick viscous liquid, almost like blood, but it's this little dark black liquid, like an ichor. Right. And they pick up he's got tongs from his cooking set So he's not like, because I would immediately, I was like, yeah, I'm in my brain. I'm like, yeah, you touch that liquid. I dare you to reach your hand in there and grab that. Just do it. Touch the mirror. Because the minute he did it, I was going to be like, death save immediately. But no, he picks it up with his tongs. And I'm like, God dang it. Stop outsmarting things. So he picks it up with his tongs. And then he starts talking, like they start having an argument about it because like the paladin's like, that thing is evil. Put it back right now. But it is an evil artifact. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're looking at. Put it back. And he goes, looks like a mirror or something. Just put it back. Don't look at a mirror. And so they start arguing. Well, he's pantomiming his argument. He's doing this little number. He's like, I don't understand what everybody's getting so upset about. So he's doing this, but he's holding on to the tongs. And I'm like, are you like thrashing about like that while you're arguing with her? He goes, yeah, I'm animated. I'm an animated person. So yeah. And I'm like, God, please tell me you're not actually doing that. And he goes, no, I'm like shaking my arms and stuff. Why? And I went, you're not shaking your arms, right? And he goes, yeah, dude, I'm shaking my arms. And I'm like, cool. Roll of acrobatics, I guess. See if you see. Oh, no, failed that roll because of course he did. So he slings the mirror and it shatters on the freaking floor because it's concrete or, stone. Shatters the mirror. And of course, the Lich is like, hey, what's up? So anyways, yeah, long story short, like it was a bad day for them. But anyways, yeah, they basically changed the entire campaign because of that moment, because the Lich was like, cool, I'm the big bad evil guy now. But anyways, so we said all that to say this. Our stories are way more fun than the crap that WotC's currently putting out.
But
not putting out.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Dragonlance thing, because Manganiello is a game master himself. Yeah. He has written books, modules. He has done all of this stuff. He was heading it up the way Henry Cavill was heading up the first season of The Witcher.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is an actual person who understands the IP was going to be in charge of it?
Yes.
Weird.
And, sadly enough, it looks like it's not moving forward. And here's what they say. He says why they're not moving forward. He said it was planned. The planned project was not moving forward due to several issues, including Hasbro's sale of the E1 studio and poor performance of a Dragonlance D&D adventure and board game in 2022. And most of you guys know that the Dragonlance board game that he's mentioning was $10 over at Ollie's because nobody wanted to get it. You make it good Dragonlance setting books, like you did Storm Coast, or like the Storm Coast books that they did.
Yeah, there's Storm Coast. What was the one with the vampire that's been like the super popular? I can't think of it. Ravenloft. That was an excellent one. Curse of Strahd. That's the one I'm thinking of. Like that sold like hotcakes because it was fantastically written.
You do a good version or a good book, it'll sell.
They're like, oh well, that's just the excuse. I'm sticking with that. I think they're just being buttholes. They're being Matt booties, and they're just canceling things. I'm willing to bet somebody at Hasbro got a promotion out of this cancellation.
I mean, here's what makes me sad, okay? Because I love the Dragonlance thing. Here's here it goes through. Manganiello worked with a script writing partner and consulted with novel writers Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. The people who wrote the Dragonlance whole setting.
So we were going to get, and I see,
we were going to get a proper,
you know what,
Dragonlance.
I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. I can't do this. I hate Hasbro.
On that note, no, but like I said, it was really going to be something that was, it was really going to be something that I had hopes for because of who was being tied into it, who was being brought into it.
It was a glimmer of former glory for D&D fans. Yeah. And Hasbro had to be like, no, can't have it.
I mean, it'd be like somebody like,
we're not going to make money. You can't have it.
It's like looking back at the thing as somebody who really cared about it, redoing the Greyhawk setting and doing a movie in the Greyhawk setting.
I mean, Don't even put ideas out in the ether anymore because Hasbro is just going to tell us that they're going to do it and then they're not going to do it.
Right. But on that note, on us being heartbroken that this isn't going to happen anymore, or it's not moving forward. He didn't say it's canceled. He said it's just not
moving forward.
It's not progressing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So,
bunch of booties.
We'll see if they circle back, if they
Jinsaki it
and circle back around to it. Maybe if enough people raise their voice and say,
share this show, guys.
You're making, don't be a booty.
That's right. Tell them not to be booties.
Make this movie. Make this series.
Don't be a booty. Make this movie. There's our tagline.
On that note, I am Topher.
I am Crazy Chris.
And we will see you in the next video.
Don't be a booty.